Hey, shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kodash, double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom to the household of faith. It's your brother Chnak coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, Kodash, shalom, shalom to the Lord's elect, okay? And you see what I have here. Okay, we've all seen this herb. This is parsley. Okay, whether it's flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley, those are the two types of parsley that you're mainly going to see in the grocery store. But it doesn't matter. Whatever parsley that you can get, you can use these interchangeably. Okay. Why are we talking about parsley? Well, a great herb to know how to use for your different complaints in this body, okay, especially when it comes and it pertains to the kidneys, the digestive system, as well as the female reproductive system, and many other things as well. But we'll go through a couple of those traditional uses and benefits. We will make also the tea infusion. I'll talk about my personal experience using parsley on, myself, and then and other people using it as well, working with them, and then we'll go through some cautions too, because it is good to know and to read about the different benefits of herbs, okay? And yes, the herbs benefit, but you have to understand the cautions and the different side effects that you can experience, okay, because it's not for everybody. So we'll go through that, Lord's will. After this class, this tutorial, you'll have some basic working knowledge on parsley, okay? It's a readily available herb that you can get all across really the world, in all your major grocery stores, farmers markets, international markets. There's parsley there. We've all know about this herb. They'll garnish it on your plate at different restaurants. But parsley traditionally has been used as a herbal medicine, okay, especially when it comes to the kidneys, digestion, and the uterus or the female reproductive system, okay? And we'll go through some of that, okay? But the first thing we're gonna do, all right, is we're gonna prepare the infusion. And how to prepare the infusion. Now today we're using the fresh herb because you can generally get the fresh herb everywhere. You can go right now, you can go pick up the fresh herb. You can also get the dry herb too. But we're gonna do the fresh herb, okay, because this is more readily available, okay, at a grocery store near you. Okay, now if you have a dehydrator, you can dry it out. The dose for the dry is going to be a little bit different from the dose from the fresh, but we'll use the fresh, and in particular we'll be talking about the infusion. Now you can tincture this fresh at a 1 to 2, and you can tincture this dry at a 1 to 5. Okay, just as I talk about all the other tincture videos, it's literally the same concept. 1 to 2 for fresh, 1 to 5 for dry. It vary a little bit depending on the herb. Okay, but we're going to talk about the infusion and how powerful the infusion is, especially for your kidneys. And this is generally how I would use parsley. Is for when I think of parsley, I think of kidneys. I think of a diuretic. Okay, so what I have here is two ounces of chopped up parsley. 2 ounces of chopped up parsley in a mason jar. Okay, and then I have the electric kettle. Pick you up an electric kettle. It's very useful. All right, so when you're using fresh herbs and we're making the infusion, you want to increase the amount of herb you use because the herb has water in it. So if you're using dry parsley, you would use 1 ounce of dry parsley. We're using 2 ounces of fresh parsley because parsley has more water. And we'll also go through different dose ranges too, because you'll see in certain literature, whether it's online or in books, they'll give you different dosing. Okay, so we'll get a little understanding on that as well. So we're going to do the infusion. Okay, what is an infusion? Where you're pouring water on top of the herbs. With delicate material, like leaves and flowers and stems, you want to infuse them, okay? So now we're gonna pour 32 ounces of hot water on the herb. Okay. Boom, you have the infusion here. All right, you can let that sit 20 minutes and then you divide that. We'll talk about the dosing and all that, but that's how you would do an infusion, a parsley infusion, okay? So we did that. Now let's talk about the traditional uses and benefits. I prepared a script here so we can kind of go through them. I don't want to forget any, as well as we'll go through 3 books, which a lot of the information is going to overlap. But just to, you know, when you are researching herbs, the herbal tradition and what other in different cultures use the herb somewhat similar, but for different elements as well. So there's a vast use range for parsley if you use it correctly. But there's also some indications or contraindications when you don't want to use parsley at a particular time, okay? So let's go through some traditional benefits. Okay, I have 20 here. We might get through all of them. We'll see. Promoting urination, okay? Again, when I think of parsley, and if I want to use parsley, I have to know and understand that it is going to increase urination. So it is a diuretic. It's somewhat on the medium to strong range depending on your dose, but it will increase the force, okay, of your urination. So if there's any void of urine, maybe your stream is not as strong, okay, parsley will help with that, okay? Kidney support, traditionally used to encourage normal kidney and urination elimination. Okay, so this is a detoxifying herb. Most of your herbs are going to make you sweat more, urinate more, move your bowels more. Okay, most of your detoxification herbs, that's what you do. So parsley is in that realm as well, especially when it comes to your kidneys. It comes to your urinary tract. Okay, it's going to help increase the flow of urine. Okay, increase of the flow. It's not just remember, urine is a waste, so it's going to help move waste out of your body more efficiently. Okay, it's been used for the bladder, pretty much the same thing. Urinary gravel, traditionally herbalists will use this for kidney stones or sediment in the urine. But again, we'll go through some contraindications because not all cases you will use parsley. Okay, especially when you have, if you're sensitive to oxalates, you wouldn't use parsley if you're sensitive to oxalate, and we'll go into that, okay? Flushing the urinary system. Okay, so again, this is a system of pipes, okay, and sometimes you have to get a good cleansing. Parsley can help remove the debris, okay, from the genourinary system. Okay, because it's going to increase the force of fluid. Parsley has also been used for digestive support. So not only does it target the kidneys, okay, it also is known as a carminative, which is to help move gas out of the system. Okay, gas out of the system. So think of bloating, as well as colic or cramping in the intestines. All right, or the colon. So anywhere there's tightness or cramping or gas, okay, and pain that's associated with those symptoms, parsley has been traditionally used, all right, for those issues. Okay, appetite. Okay, it does gently stimulate appetite. When you see parsley or you smell parsley, it's very volatile, aromatic, okay, because parsley contains essential oils in it. And those essential oils are what is stimulating, you could say irritating the kidneys to push out more fluid, okay? As well as those oils in the parsley are used to move gas out of the system as well. And with that, there is an increase in appetite. So using parsley also can slightly, it's not my go-to herb for increasing appetite, but it can be added into a formula. It can be, added to a digestive kidney formula, or if you take it, you might notice as well an increase in appetite. We know that it freshens your breath. Okay. Another way parsley was used, and there's really three main ways that parsley was used. It was used for the kidneys, it was used for digestion, and it was used for menstruation problems, especially when menstruation is they say scanty, or it has stopped, or there's spotting, or the menstruation is not fully, you're not having a full cycle, you're not truly bleeding how you should be. Traditionally, parsley was used to encourage menstruation, okay? So, and we'll talk about the caution. You don't want to take parsley if you're pregnant or breastfeeding as well, because parsley would dry up the milk, okay? So parsley is known as a minagogue, which means to stimulate, the gog at the end, to stimulate the uterus, okay? So you don't want to take parsley if you have a child. It can cause, okay, to abort the fetus because it's too much stimulation. Think of parsley as a stimulating herb. It gets things to move out of the body. So that also includes the female reproductive system. But if in a lot of cases where the blood is stuck, there's congestion within the uterus, okay, parsley also has been used, okay, to help stimulate the flow. Okay, so women that have scanty menstruation, parsley also was used for that issue. A minagogue, okay? Pretty delayed or scanty menstruation, we already went through that. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay. Cleansing formulas, I would, in formulation, I would put parsley there with in a kidney formulation. That's generally how I would do a kidney cleansing formulation. You can also put parsley in there with, a blood cleansing, lymphatic formulation, just to give a little bit more stimulation into the kidneys. So you can put a little bit of parsley in your detoxifying blends. Okay, there's a formula that I have called Deep System Cleanse, and I put a little bit of parsley in that form, just a little bit, maybe only 5 to 10%. So you can put a little parsley in your formulas as well. Remember, parsley is generally pretty, depending on your dose, it's going to be in the mid range of more powerful stimulants for the kidneys. You have gentle diuretics. Okay, there's gentle diuretics like corn silk. Okay, they're marshmallow to a degree. Okay, parsley is going to be in the mid range. More stronger ones are going to be like juniper root. Okay, so you have gentle diuretics. Okay, you have mid-range diuretics. Parsley would be in there, but it is kind of strong. Okay, liver and elimination formulas as well. You can use parsley also for the liver. Okay, in liver formulas, parsley really likes the kidney, but it also, because by its stimulating effect, it does have almost like a trickle down effect on the liver, gallbladder, because also parsley has been used to dissolve stones, okay, in whether it's liver stones or gallbladder stones, or cleanse the duct, okay, of the gallbladder, which can get sluggish. So not only can you use parsley for the kidney, but it also, you can use parsley for the liver, okay, as well. Because think of parsley as a stimulating herb. In herbalism, parsley is known as a stimulating diuretic. You have stimulating diuretics, okay? You have soothing diuretics. You also have astringent and antibacterial diuretics. Each herb is going to do a little bit something different. Parsley, when you take parsley, you're thinking of things to move, okay? Nutritional support. Parsley has a lot of vitamin C. It has iron. It has a lot of iron. It has a lot of minerals. Okay, it has more vitamin C than oranges. Okay, so parsley also is somewhat a remineralizer. Okay, so you can put that in anemia formulas or just general nutritive formulas. Okay, but depending on your dose, depending on how you prepare it, your minerals are going to be prepared through infusion, not really a tincture. A tincture doesn't extract the minerals. Infusion will extract the minerals. Okay. Let's see. Joint and tissue swelling. So brothers and sisters that have joint and tissue swelling, especially when it's associated with water retention. So again, one of the main reasons or the main ways I will use parsley, okay, is when there's water retention, okay, as well as there's pain associated because the joints, all right, are swelling and there's pain, whether it's gout, whether it's particular types of arthritis, or any type of inflammation where the waters of the system are stagnant. Okay? Right. And then in combination urinary formulas, I would use me personally, I really like to use parsley and dandelion. Okay? And I did a video on dandelion, and to get to know, you got to get to know dandelion. If I had to choose between parsley and dandelion, I'm gonna go with dandelion, okay, because it's more bitter. It's more bitter for the stomach, okay, and it has more nutrients, okay. But parsley is stronger than dandelion when it comes to eliminating waste. So I would combine those, okay. So I would do half parsley, half dandelion leaf, and you steep that. You got a superstar diuretic that's also going to replenish the minerals back. And when you look at a lot of herbs, okay, for example, parsley, also dandelion, which these are diuretic type herbs that move fluid out of the body. You will also know that a lot of those herbs, not all of them, but a lot of them are, especially your green leafy ones, they have a lot of minerals to supply, okay, to redeposit them back. Because when you are eliminating more fluid out of the body, you can become dehydrated, and we'll talk about that in the cautions. You can become dehydrated, and you can have a lack of a mineral imbalance, your electrolyte imbalance, okay. But parsley, dandelion leaf, herbs like that, nettle leaf is a great example as well. They also give something back. If you're taking these powerful diuretic herbs from Esau Edom, they're gonna push fluid out, but they're not gonna give anything back. Okay, they're gonna take, okay, and run you even more depleted and deficient. So knowing parsley is a skill that you should know, especially when it comes to your kidneys being backed up. Okay. Okay, let's talk about my personal experience, okay, with parsley. I use parsley. This is going to increase urination, okay? If you're someone that holds onto a lot of fluid, parsley is going to get that fluid to go, okay? Now, me personally, I only use a little bit of parsley because, again, everybody's constitution is different. I generally don't hold on to too much water. If anything, I need more fluid, okay? So if I use strong infusions, strong preparations, dosing of parsley, over time you can be dried out. So parsley, I've used parsley, but it's not I don't use it in a very high amount. I'll use a little bit, so my dose will be dropped down. Okay, but those that are more bigger, they hold on to weight. Water sits in their legs, water sits in their knees. Okay, water, fluid build up all over body. Parsley is a great herb. Okay, now by working with other people and giving them parsley, I say, hey, they'll have kidney problems. For example, an individual frequent urination, pissing like just going crazy, and certain brothers had those issues before and probably still do. Okay, where you don't fully empty out. Okay, so there's some void of urine, you don't fully empty out, and that can happen, or the stream is weak, or also the body just keeps, it's like you just took a piss and like 15 minutes later you gotta take a piss again. You're like, what is going on? So brothers suffer with that, and an individual came to me and I said, hey, go get you some parsley, and I had them put it in a juice. Okay, so I gave them the infusion as well, but I have at first put it in a juice with celery and have them drink that. Call me back a week later, it's like, bro, what is this? Now, in all cases of frequent urination, will you use parsley? Not necessarily, but through identifying, because you don't want to use it, parsley, just with every case if there's frequent urination, because there can be irritation. So there was no irritation in the kidneys, but it looked like there could be some infection that's irritating the urinary tract, okay, and it's sending signals to try to push it out, but there's no, the kidney force of the kidney has diminished, so it's not going to push out all the infection. Okay, so parsley is going to help push out everything, and that's what it looked like what happened. But it's a herb that gets your kidneys back to start to filtrate and push things out. Okay, that's one experience, and I was like, hey, this is free information. All you have to know is know how to use it. Okay, they wanted to do something, surgery or some crazy, put them on drugs, when you have the Lord's medicine out of the herb. That's what the scriptures say. Okay, that's what the scriptures say. He that is wise would not abhor him. And this channel is here to try to get you up to speed and educate you, especially with the herbs that are around you, especially herbs that you can get, culinary herbs that you get at the grocery store that have traditionally been used as medicines. Okay, an individual that's void of urine, okay, couldn't piss. Okay, that is a very serious problem, and parsley is a superstar for weak flow. Weak flow. Now, the thing is, parsley, if there could be a deeper issue, okay, why the flow is weak. So you want to address that as well. But you can use parsley in the meantime. It is going to help the condition. So anytime you're dealing with kidney problems, you just don't, okay, I'm going to take parsley and it's going to go away. Sometimes that does happen. I'm not going to lie. Okay, sometimes that does happen, and that's all that you need. But if there's a bigger problem, okay, you're going to have to address that problem. I would go on herbs to generally detoxify the whole body. So herbs for the kidneys, herbs for the bowels, herbs for the liver, herbs for the lymphatics, okay? Herbs to increase heat, depending on the situation, okay? Your general detoxifying herb, and parsley is one of those, okay? But any sediment or foam in the urine, okay? Because parsley dissolves, it partially dissolves. Okay, that's why it's been used for kidney stones, liver stones, gallbladder stones. It dissolves. Not in every case, but it might be in your case. I don't know. Okay, but knowing that parsley is there for you, okay, it's beneficial. Okay, Now, some cautions, because we always like to know about the benefits, and the superpowers of particular herbs and how it's going to heal you, and so on and so forth. But you also have to know about the cautions, especially when it pertains to diuretics. Okay, and parsley is a relatively medium to strong diuretic, especially depending on your dose. Long term, I would not use parsley long term. Okay, parsley is not a quick fix. You can use it for longer periods of time safely when you drop your dose down, right? But again, there's cautions because parsley is a strong herb, and there are times where you don't want to take this herb because it's stimulating. Okay, so again, I talked about women that are pregnant. Parsley can stimulate the uterus too much. Okay, that's what happens when you have contractions and the baby's about to come. The uterus starts to uterus starts to stimulate. Okay, contract, and what happens? It starts pushing the baby out. So that's what parsley will do to the uterus. It will stimulate. This is why women would take that for scanty menstrual flow. Okay, a menstrual flow that has dried up or is blocked. Parsley starts to push. So if you're pregnant, you don't want to take it. If you're on blood pressure medicine, you don't really you want to deal with getting off of the blood pressure, or you have to really monitor while you're doing it. It has to be in a regulated dose, because parsley is traditionally known to bring down pressure. So parsley is a herb to bring down pressure. So you have to be very careful, okay, with blood pressure medicine, okay, pharmaceuticals. You also don't want to take parsley with other pharmaceutical diuretics. Okay, you don't want to take parsley with pharmaceutical diuretics. You don't want to take parsley if you are prone to a lot of cramping, a lot due to dehydration. So anybody that's dehydrated, that's not the herb for you. Okay, if you're dehydrated, it's not the herb for you. If you have fluid retention with heart congestion, okay, because a lot of fluid retention also is going to be a heart problem too, because the heart is the pump, and the body has to work harder to try to get the fluid out of your body. It has to pump more, so the heart wears down, but the kidney is backed up, so nothing moves. So the heart works and nothing moves. I would not take parsley if you have fluid retention, okay, with congested heart failure. You can with a skilled practitioner. Okay, you have to blend it with different herbs, okay, but you have to be careful because parsley is going to move a lot of fluid off. So maybe you could do it initially, okay, but you have to monitor that. And I would take other herbs for the heart, cayenne pepper, hawthorn, herbs like that, hibiscus, rose, okay. Women that are breastfeeding, parsley will dry up the milk. So women that have throughout time when they were done weaning their child, they would take parsley to dry up the milk, whether you take it internally or they'll make a poultice and they'll put it on the breast. Okay, again, you don't want to do it when you're dehydrated. Okay, this is not an herb to take super long term in high doses. Okay, but it is a powerful diuretic when you are prone, okay, to fluid retention. Okay, let me see. Right, good. I didn't want to forget that. You don't want to take parsley without a skilled practitioner in kidney disease. Okay, and I talked about parsley has been used for kidney stones, but not all cases, because now through modern technology they know about oxalates, and parsley does have, especially the parsley that we have, has oxalates, and it can irritate the kidneys more. So that's not a herb that you want. I would not use parsley for kidney stones. I would not use parsley for kidney stones, even though it has traditionally been used for kidney stones. And maybe in certain cases, if skillfully, you can use it with other strategies as well, with other herbs too. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it with serious kidney disease states. Okay, serious kidney disease states, this is not generally the herb that you want. And I'll do a video more on the kidneys, because there's different herbs for the kidneys, and parsley is a herb that you will take at a particular time. If it's in an inflammatory disease state, you don't want to take parsley because it's going to be too irritating. Okay, kidney stones is too irritating. Okay, pain in the kidney. Okay, very careful taking parsley, very low dose. Okay, let's see. Okay. Don't take this. This is not medical advice. So, right? So don't take this as medical advice. It's not medical advice. This is herbal education. The traditional uses of parsley, my experiences with using parsley with me and other people. Okay, I've seen parsley do some crazy things. Okay, another experience I forgot to add is on detoxification programs that individuals on. I've seen like okay, take this amount of parsley, make whether it's in a juice. Generally, I like to tell people to take it in a juice. The juice is super powerful, so you can't take a lot of it. Okay, but because it's so powerful, it's going to dump toxins into your body fast. Okay, so over the experience, I've dropped down the dose with working with people with parsley, because it's just it is a powerful herb. You're gonna be pissing like crazy, number one. So I wouldn't take this at night right before you go to bed. You're gonna be having to piss, which is a good thing because you're moving waste. But also too, you can go through detoxification symptoms as well. If you're taking this and you feel relatively okay, and all what's going on is you just have more, you're urinating more, there's no pain, you have no cramping, there's no issue going on, okay, then that parsley is good. But if you're starting to experience pain, unexplainable pain, like bad pain, then you want to back off parsley. There's other more gentler kidney soothing herbs. Okay, uva ursa, corn silk, marshmallow, herbs like that. Okay, I would actually use dandelion leaf before I use parsley leaf in most cases. Okay, now, and again, you don't want to take this with diuretic medications. You don't. Okay, because this is just too stimulated. It's super powerful. It works. Okay, basically it works. Okay, now traditionally the seed has been used, the leaf has been used, and the root has been used. I believe the root, I've never used the root, but the root is stronger. Okay, but the leaf is what we have, and the leaf is good. Okay, you're straight. Okay, let's go into some resource on a book. This book, Herbal, Modern Herbal Dispensatory, and again, a lot of this information overlaps. Okay, and they'll tell you different dosing. The point I'm bringing up these books, they all have different dosing. So it's like, what do you do, right? We're going to simplify that. Okay, parsley is rich in sodium and potassium, which is necessary to regulate fluids in the body. It has volatile oil that stimulates kidney function. Parsley helps to lower blood pressure and slow the pulse. Okay, so if you already have low blood pressure, you got to be careful taking parsley. Okay, because it's going to slow if you have low blood pressure, your pulse is probably low too. Okay, and then you have to be careful of taking parsley when you're on high blood pressure medicine, because with those two combined, it could drop it too low. Okay. All right. Okay, that's that book. Let's go to this book here. You don't get this book. Okay, Medical Herbalism, the Science and Practice of Herbal Medicine. All right. And it says, fresh parsley, so widely used in cooking, is a rich source of vitamin C. Medicinally, the herb has three main areas of usage. First, it is an effective diuretic that helps the body eliminate excess water and may be used whenever such an action is desired. Remember, however, that the cause of the problem must also be sought and treated. It is also a menagogue used to stimulate menstrual process. Thus, medicinally use of parsley during pregnancy is not advisable, as it may cause excessive stimulation of the womb. Finally, it has value as a carminative to ease flatulence, gas, and accompanying colic pain. Okay, which is like sudden cramping, abdominal cramping, whether it's in the intestinal tracts. All right, small children experience that. Okay, and then it will give you different dosages. Okay, today we're talking about the infusion. Okay, in the last book, don't get this book at all. The last two books are more for the practitioner, but all three are as well. The first book is more for your home apothecary. Okay, and then these two books are for more your practitioner. Okay. Okay, a School of Natural Healing. Okay, parsley. This herb used freely for culinary purposes and for garnishing dishes, where it is likely more nutritive than the concoction to which it lends color, because parsley is highly nutritious. Okay. That it is a very reliable and old diuretic remedy is very much ignored today. Yes, this remedy is ignored. This is why I'm more so into getting good at using the herbs around me. Okay, if you have 2 or 3 good diuretic remedies, you don't need 20 diuretic remedies. Okay, if you have two diuretic remedies right now, I'm thinking at the grocery store, dandelion leaf and parsley leaf. I mean, you just can't go wrong. Okay, and if you know those herbs, okay, which parsley is not generally used medicinally like it used to be used. Okay, so we're bringing that knowledge back. Okay, especially because you don't have to go online, you don't have to go somewhere deep in South America or China or somewhere to get this herb. This herb is at the store. Okay, you pass by it all the time when you go to the grocery store. Okay, you got kidney problems. You're holding on to fluid, and it's literally right there. Okay. If used properly, parsley will work on the gallbladder and remove gallstones if used properly. Parsley is specific for adrenal glands. Okay. It's powerfully therapeutic for the optic nerve, the brain nerves, and the whole sympathetic nervous system. So we haven't even really went deep into that. Okay. So brothers with eye issues, right? Parsley. The fluid extract or juice is an excellent tonic for the blood vessels, particularly the capillaries and arterioles, if I pronounce that right. It is rich in vital minerals and contains more iron than any other green leafy vegetable. So brothers and sisters that have anemia problems, okay, parsley's there. It has a lot of iron. It is especially high in vitamin A, B, and contains 3 times the potency of vitamin C than do citrus juices. It is remarkable remedy for expelling watery poisons, excess mucus, flatulence, for reducing swollen and enlarged glands. Okay, so there you go. All right, get some parsley. All right, the infusion is readily available to you. Okay, you can also, easy way to get parsley, I'll do a separate video on it, but it's the tincture. You can make it into a tincture. Okay, you can also make the dry tincture as well, or you can use the dry infusion. But I pray that, you know, this information is helpful, you know, but understand parsley, okay? Understand this herb. Get to know this herb, okay? Make the tincture, drink the infusion, okay? I'm gonna put how to make the infusion and the dosing at the end of the video, okay? Until next time, shalom to the elect.